And of course, joining me on the news to discuss this is Bolu Michael-Biyi, a former legal advisor at the African Union. Thank you so much for your time, Bolu.
Thank you.
And of course, let's start off with a conversation. What do you make of the news of the more than 50 people and around 150 wounded earlier today, particularly following an attack at a refugee camp in the northern Gaza Strip?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that civilian lives are being lost in this war, and it's expected that in every war that civilians would die. However, if force has to be used, I'm talking about Israel now. Palestine attacked Israel first, and it's expected that they are going to retaliate. However, the use of force has to be commensurate, and I think that is what's lacking in the war between Israel and Hamas, and it's difficult. Israel is finding it difficult to actually defeat Hamas because normally, as we know, is the military that protects the people. They stand in front of the people. But what Hamas is doing is that they use the women and children as human shields. They put the people in front to protect themselves. They mix among the people. So it makes it difficult for Israel to really attack them and defeat them as they planned. So it's quite unfortunate that this is happening, and it's about time that both sides sit on the negotiation table and the international community call for an immediate ceasefire, because we cannot continue to lose civilian lives. It's because when all civilians are dead, who else will occupy the territory? So it's not beneficial in any way.
Let's talk about Israel right now. Of course, we understand that they have continued to, when it comes to fueling blockade to Gaza, as well as other humanitarian aid, including water, food, and medical supplies. Now, do you think this is the right call? Of course, knowing that civilians are still within that particular region.
It's not right, in my opinion, because no matter what, we're all humans, regardless of the race, regardless of background, regardless of color. These persons are human beings, and they don't have to pay for the sins of other people. The kids, the women, the children, they don't know anything about this war. They're just living. They just want to, get by, basically. So they should not, humanitarian access should be allowed as much as possible, and this is a point I commend Egypt for allowing aid through their borders. However, Israel needs to understand that this is beyond the ordinary person. They don't really know what's going on, and they should be allowed to leave. Basically, by allowing humanitarian access, the blockades wouldn't help in the long run, really.
Now, UNICEF has called for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire, which of course has not been heeded to. What is the possible solution to this?
Basically, I think what might prevail over Israel is to for the international community to offer some assistance and put pressure on them to allow humanitarian access. No matter what side of the war, whether it's Hamas or Israel, they definitely have the ears of someone. There's someone they talk to. That they can listen to. Their bodies they can listen to. Let the African Union, the multilateral organizations come together. Let there be, an advocacy, strong advocacy to allow humanitarian access. There's some countries that can mediate, like the UAE, Qatar. The leaders of this country have the ears of the Palestinians and also the United States. If the United States tells Israel tomorrow that allow humanitarian access, I believe strong that Israel would. So it's not just about just talking to Israeli leaders, but also the persons that can influence these leaders as well. I think that would be the way to go.
Now, before I let you go, Bolu, the current war in Gaza has seen many condemn what they call Western hypocrisy. A war kicked against the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, but support the offensive of Israel in Gaza. Now, where do you stand and what is your thought on this? And just to follow up to that too, some are also saying that Israel should be held for crimes against humanity when it comes to some of the attacks and their actions there. What's your take?
Well, the second question, yes, Israel is liable for crime against humanity, specifically as regards to the displacement, the displacement of civilian populations against customary international humanitarian law. However, there are exceptions. If the well-being of the civilians are concerned, or for imperative military reasons, and that law is weak because Israel can rely on that exception. For every rule, there must be an exception. But yes, under international law, Israel can be liable for crime against humanity because the forceful displacement of civilians is a crime against humanity. And if it's true and it's established that Israel is culpable, then they should pay for that. And as regards the first question about supporting and one struggle and not supporting the
The
other.
hypocrisy of the West.
Yes, countries have allies, and based on precedents, one can tell what their stance will be. The U.S., for instance, is a strong ally of Israel, and vice versa. So that's what's basically playing out. It's pretty unfair in international politics, but unfortunately, that's how it is.
Bolu Michael-Biyi, thank you so much for your time.
Always my pleasure.